Good morning, everybody. This is Diggs. It's another beautiful day out here in the Pacific Northwest, and today we're going to be talking about the special passive abilities that you can only unlock through chess. There was a lot of people asking questions about these, so we're going to go ahead and talk about them. Let's go ahead and dig in. So if you didn't know, there are passive abilities locked behind treasure chests in this game. Now, these are going to be the treasure chests that do drop from monsters, and you can get them from farming in the outside world, as I call it. Sometimes I call it the overworld. I have a variety of names from it. It just kind of depends on what I'm doing and when I'm doing it. But you can see here, usually it's the last monster in a pack will drop them. The only packs that don't seem to drop them are the gold dropping monsters, but you can see Desert Boar Hunter, War Drone here. They all have this locked prototype trunk, and they all have the vintage trunk as well. And I think people underestimate the value of farming in the outside world. I think most people do focus on farming Territe, which is really important. And a lot of people think, you know, I either have to farm Territe or I have to farm gold. And I think a lot of people don't look to farming these chests. And as someone who's been EXPing in non-conventional EXP locations, farming in the quote-unquote outer world, I've been getting a lot of these chests, and I've been getting a lot of puzzle pieces, a lot of passive abilities. So I wanted to talk about that because I think for some classes, the passive abilities that you can get in these chunks are some of the best passives you can get in the game. I'll give you an example. Since we're talking about Rogue, since Rogue is my main class, my Rogue ability that I do get from this, and you can see I have it level 7 right now, is I do get Swift Movement. Now, Swift Movement increases movement speed by up to 20% and then increases attack speed for up to 10% on 5 successful hits. So not only is this really great for PvP because movement speed is increased, this is also going to be really great for PvE as well when you're killing monsters. This is universally one of the better passives that Rogue can actually equip. So when you think about farming these trunks and when you think about doing this, like, recognize you're going to get the passives from all of the different classes, and you're actually going to make pretty good progress. I would say I've gotten level 7 Swift Movement from maybe about 2 to 3 weeks of farming without going into chaos fields, and that's with taking breaks, sending my alts into chaos fields and leveling them up. So I've had some pretty good success. One of the things I've noticed with farming trunks is that the higher level you go, it seems like there's an increased drop rate. That could just be my perception. That could just be, you know, completely made up in my head. It does seem like, though, that there is an increased drop rate as you do get higher level. Of course, kill speed is also factored in, and what monster packs you're killing. If you're killing monster packs that are very melee focused, you are most likely not going to get a ton, but you can also stack this up, right? So you could, for example, like I've been doing, when you are doing your specialties, right? When you're looking at the desert. The desert, you need to farm specialties all the way up because the desert is the first area that you need to get 25 stars in order to unlock your puzzle book. So you're going to be farming these monsters a lot. You might as well farm them when you're like level 88 or like, you know, 7 or levels above them. You get a little bit of EXP, but you're going to be killing fast. You're going to be getting lots of trunks, and that's really kind of the secret recipe here. So if you can find some way to do that, I would definitely encourage you to. I think it does also depend on what class you are. So let's talk about the different abilities for the different classes. Now, it is random which one you get if you are farming the brown trunks. So if you come down here, you can actually see what you can get. If you get the brown trunks, you can get any of the 5 abilities that are on here. If you get the prototype trunks, which I would recommend getting key cards, you can see I have 8 right now. It is going to be locked for your class. So you are going to have a chance of getting Swift Movement here. You're also going to have a chance of getting Overcharge Zone or the level 80 class specific or class grade ability as well. For Rogue, not that good, but potentially for some other classes could be really good for you. Now, if we're looking at the other classes and kind of what their skills are, we'll start with Swordsman. Swordsman is going to give Fortify, which is going to give, when it's at maxed out, you know, depending, it'll be however many hits you take, you gain like 5% defense when it's fully leveled, and it stacks up to 6 times. So this can actually give you up to 30% defense on swordsman. I think this is really good. I think a lot of swordsman's passives are situational as I've been going through them. I think you may, you know, arguably want to set this if you are doing PvP, but also in top level PvP, it's not really going to matter that much. And we're talking top level. We're not talking like masters, grandmasters. We're talking like top 30, because people have weapons enhanced so high because of the way that the cursing system works on global. For engineer, healing cycle, this is an interesting ability. I think this would be an ability you only set if you're healing a lot. It is basically going to give your healing individual a shield, is my understanding of how it works, and it'll also boost the attack damage. Most engineers, though, aren't always healing focused, maybe in PvP specifically, but for me, I couldn't see the use of this unless you're either trying to shield and heal in PvP, which there are some people who have builds like that. I think a lot of time people are going to be setting more offensive passives. When we talk about Witch, though, I really like Witches. And Witch is one of those classes that has a lot of really good passives. And keep in mind, guys, I'm not a main swordsman, Witch, you know, Engi. This is just me looking at these passives and just being like, holy cow. But Exquisite Sense is going to give like a guaranteed critical hit every 7 hits, which is pretty powerful. I'm not sure what the cooldown is on it. But I think it's every 7 hits is almost a guaranteed critical hit. So it's pretty monstrously powerful, but which has so many other good passives, you're really going to have to decide if that's something that you want to chase. It's also going to increase basic attack damage when you are attacking your opponent every couple of hits. And then Destroyers is going to increase defense. Now, at max level, it has a 50% chance to proc every 15 seconds for 7 seconds. It'll reduce 20% damage. That's a lot of damage mitigation, but again, it comes down to that question of what type of a destroyer are you going to run, and is defense really that necessary? Is defense, you know, it might help you a lot if you are pushing through PvP in like Diamond or Masters, but once you hit Grandmasters and once people have cursed weapons that are extremely high, I don't see it helping you nearly as much there, because it's much more about who can kill who faster. So we'll have to see. You know, a lot of you guys, if you play any of these classes, are going to be much more expertise at it than I am. Personally, though, I've really been enjoying Rogue's ability. I know a couple other Rogues. We were talking about it last night in our group chat. Kuro, that's you. I know a couple of other Rogues use this ability, and I know that it seems pretty good, and it seems kind of one of the better rogue abilities out there. So let me know what you guys think down in the description down below. I'm really curious how you guys utilize these. I think Rogue and Witch are the best. I probably Swordsman in another 3 and Engi situationally. But let me know, you guys. I'm not an expert on all the different classes, and I really would love to hear your opinions, and I'm sure there's people down below that are going to want to know as well for their individual class. So thank you so much, and I hope you guys all have a great rest of your day.